Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of A Toon to Die For. My name is Kelsey, or Kels, my pronouns are she, they, and I'm the communications director at TTRPG, this wonderful, lovely little channel you see us on right now. And I am going to pass it over to our GM. Um, how about this? Can this be heard now? It is unmuted on desktop. I'll try it again. What about now? Why can nothing else be heard? That's interesting. Alrighty. We are having a very, very brief technical issue, so I'm going to toss us over to a quick break screen and we will be right back.
Technician.
We have transitioned back over. Hello. I hope everybody can hear now. I think I have fixed it. Would our GM love to test that theory?
Hello, everyone. It's me again, Mike. My pronouns are they and he, and I am the game facilitator of this run of TRPG, A Tune to Die For. Welcome to episode 2, the Ides. Things are going to get really serious in Studio 4 as we try to save or witness the untimely dissolution of the cast of Why So Serious Caesar. Yeah. Last time, the intrepid sleuths seeking after truth after the poor murder of the late detective Wint Tingle began their investigation of the murder as well as the looking after the slew of Toon and real killings that have been taking all across Bivdale for the last few weeks. Several clues pointed them toward Vision Animations, and there they went to find the Actors Union protesting. So, we return now to our cast in front of Studio 4. Hello, everyone. We're joined in no particular order by Cyril.
Oh, hi. I'm Grishka and Kiki. My pronouns are he, him, and they, them, and I'm portraying Cyril Seda, the kind of washed up, kind of over it former child star and current gadabout who frankly has no idea how he got into this situation. His pronouns are he, him.
We're also joined by Miss Sally Sable.
Hi, I'm Annie Oakley. I'm playing Sally Sable. She is what I would refer to as a B-list cartoon. So you've seen her around. You probably don't remember what you've seen her in, but you have seen her
For
face.
affinity, I think.
Yeah, yeah. You probably don't also remember her name exactly, because obviously she's a Sable. She looks like a lot of other tunes, but she's around.
Of course, Sky Herald.
Hello. Today I'm gonna be Sky Harold. They them pronouns. Sky. I think I forgot to mention this last time, but Sky's cartoon actually never even made it to production. It never got greenlit, like to even have a full script written. It was supposed to be like a kid-friendly Sherlock-esque mystery show, but the producer thought that it was way too bleak. So it never went anywhere, and now Sky just wanders around solving crimes that they really shouldn't be involved in.
And last but not least, and taking up the rear guard, Kip Hopperman. You're mutoed. You're muted.
You're muted in Zoom.
See,
There we go.
see, Zoom says I could just hold the space bar. You lied to me, Zoom. You lied to me, Zoom. I'm portraying Kip Hopperman today, and Kip Hopperman, he had a show, but unfortunately could never remember his lines, was never on screen. No one could really rely on him to ever really be there, except they rely on him to do one thing, and that is to do every job. He's the gopher of, of Bivtown. And he does everything, but he can't ever remember anything unless you ask him direct questions. Uh, Last time, they asked him to capture a bunch of, what was it, monkeys?
It was
Gobwins.
goblins.
Goblins. And he decided to go commando on them. Kip is an interesting character. And yeah, we'll see what he can do next.
Yeah. Capable of anything are our four sleuths, and they stand now before Studio 4 after cracking open the door, even though recording was in progress, breaking a huge Toon taboo. But when they slid open the door, they were assaulted by the visual of the cast of Why So Serious Caesar and all their extras for this episode being doused in quite a bit of whiteout as that wave began to crest toward them. And I will say, using MadCap's rules, this wave is an event that has a countdown of three. Every unsuccessful move will cause me to remove one of my lovely counters that I have here in front of me. And if we reach zero counters, something bad will happen, of course. But
Beautiful.
you can also stop the wave of whiteout using cartoon antics and any sort of real world know-how. But right on the table, people are going to get hurt. And the four of you stand before and see a bizarre wave of whiteout very quickly approaching all of you. What do you do?
I mean, Cyril just kind of like shakily takes his cigarette out of his mouth and goes, "Well, I guess things did get worse, didn't they?" Um,
Sally is currently rummaging through her bag looking for something that she could use to perhaps maybe fan the whiteout a different way.
You certainly
Um,
can. You always carry around your handy bag of junk. That would just
I
be a
do, in
blush
fact,
sharp.
have that bag of junk. Do I need to roll to find the thing?
Yes,
What would you like me to roll?
that is a plus sharp roll given your bag of junk gimmick using the
Okay.
Madcap rules.
What? Okay, hold on.
Very
Actually,
helpful setup
that's
action.
on then 6 plus 2, so that is 13. Yeah.
Okay, wow. So you have precisely what you need for this situation. You're going to be taking a plus one forward. So that's a +1 on your next roll or someone else's next roll to deal with the situation, to perhaps to figure out what's going on, who's in the most danger, or what's up with the weird looking whiteout wave. But what is it that you snag out of your bag of junk, Sally?
Sally is going to pull out a comically large fan and open it and just, gust away the oncoming wave.
Parting the wave. Awesome. So
Yes.
whoever wants to act next, or you can designate, of course, we'll have that +1 forward on what they're doing.
I would like to. Sky's gonna shrink back down into froggy form and book it to wherever the nearest fire alarm is and hop up and like pull it down with the intent of setting the sprinklers off.
Okay. A fairly trivial action. Sure. Why don't you roll me plus cool?
That is an 8. Good news and bad news.
All right.
Um, so
So I'm going to
flinched.
give you a
Yeah.
choice here. You could certainly set off the fire alarm and the sprinklers in Studio 4, perhaps you know, diluting the whiteout wave and perhaps saving everyone in the studio. But you are going to lose something. Something on your person gets damaged or lost in this process during this process here. A piece of evidence, something deeply necessary that you have on your person, even in frog form, taken from you.
What do I have on me? I feel like I have that little bag of garbage from Wint's Garbage.
Oh no.
Okay. So if that gets like a little waterlogged,
I think that's definitely fair.
that sounds about right.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
You lose out some of the finer detail as those blueprints and those little notes on the first floor of the old Abernathy place get a little wet. But the sprinklers turn on. You do get what you wanted. You can see all of the rafters here in Studio 4 equipped with firefighting safety equipment. Water starts spraying everywhere, and perhaps the pipes a little bit nearer to the fire alarm itself, a bit older, spray all over Sky Herald. But wet, not covered in whiteout. And you notice that as tunes are getting wet and getting like the whiteout starts to crest up to them, they're actually left alone, unharmed, and so they're basically being stranded. The cast of Why So Serious Caesar are being, you're creating islands here. The water keeping the whiteout at bay, while there's this perhaps a living wave of whiteout that's trying to assail everyone.
Have we just entered a really intense game of the floor is lava?
I think so.
That's what this feels like.
So this is a life or death. The floor is lava.
Okay. So does that move our counter down to 1?
So the counters will be removed on failed action. But you
Ah.
certainly,
That makes sense.
I think you certainly. Let me read really quick.
I didn't realize.
Actually,
it was failed
yes.
actions. Oh, it's for all
I'm,
actions.
I misspoke. Yes, you are
Oh.
saving people.
Thank you, Kelsey.
You have 100% moved one of the counters off.
Okay.
We're at 2 out of 3. Something else is going on. These people are nearly safe, but there's still quite a bit of whiteout in Studio 4.
As the other two go off, I'm used to the studio. I think Kip is used to coming to the studio, and Kip looks over to the extra equipment, and sees the spare boat that they keep off to the side. And I'd like to, as one of the things, just kind of like do that cartoon spin around, and Kip is now dressed as the Gorton's fisherman, and like to be able to jump in and like the perfect storm, ride a wave up.
Absolutely.
But
Is
I
this?
think
Mhm.
I don't know if I should do this as like as my job thing or if as a zany move? Because that is pretty zany. How would
This
you like
is,
to?
I think this is more zany than it is.
Okay.
You, not many jobs you had would have prepared you for this particular situation. I think this is
Oh, I
definitely
don't
more
know.
zany.
I don't
You've had
know.
some big ones.
I don't know. Kip has done a lot of things.
I mean, we are in like a landlocked middle America studio town.
You don't know how far Wind's gone. But here in this case, I got a 13.
Yeah, of course.
I told you. I told you. Wind's done a lot of things in his life. Cyril, come with me.
I'd love to, but I get seasick.
So I have the option here. A 13 is a success, but it's sometimes too much. So you set off, you can, per the language in the book, you get your thing done, but you also set off a chain of events that will make things even crazier. So in pulling out, Kip, of course, appropriate to any task, monolithically strong when he needs to be, when he remembers that he is, rips this boat off of the wall, and the prop wall begins to cascade down. Everything very, very tenuously held up by just that boat as the prop wall begins to fall variably into the wide out disintegrating what is Toon. But the prop wall actually does collide with the rafters up top. And you think perhaps Sky Herald and Sally and Cyril that you're witnessing a Kip, of course, a little bit behind the mark on noticing this. The rest of the three of you, you think you're witnessing a total studio collapse happening in slow mo.
I mean,
There's that.
solidarity with the strikers, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So it's like, well, I guess this is what my zodiac meant whenever they said I was gonna bring the house down. Just thought I was gonna get another role at the Pasadena Playhouse, but
There it is. All right, but you are Kip. You are the lone boatman.
As Kip like just kind of is grabbing the boat and he just does that kind of like surfer move and just like jumps into the on the top of the boat and he just huh. I don't think thought this through and it just kind of keeps going.
You just keep going up an impossible height. Yes, for certain.
Yeah. Hmm. I kind of grab a little bit just out of my sleeve so that way I'm not touching the whiteout and just crest the wave. Impossibly, because I'm upside down at that point.
Right.
I'm at the top of the wave. What do I see?
So up here in the rafters, with your 13, I'll give you a little bit of extra knowledge here. You see that there's a corner of the sprinkler system toward the emergency exit door that is not working, and those pipes are beginning to cartoonishly bulge. But as you crest the top of the wave before you start descending down toward Why So Serious Caesar's cast, you see Julie um, still smoking away, completely unperturbed, basically on his pelican, just like floating around, trying to light a cigarette. And other Toons scrambling for cover and safety. You see there's the shadow of a large individual storming through the security door.
I think Kip would be more worried about the people that are in the whiteout than he would be about anybody um heading out anywhere. So as I as he crests down, going down, he heads to the back of the boat, and out of nowhere he grabs just this giant netting and just ha.
All right. And I'll give the next action +1 forward for that magnificent success, that string of successes we're seeing thus far. Yeah, doing pretty good. And that's one more counter off of the whiteout wave. There are other things to discover and other things to save here. What happens next? As Kip seems uniquely poised, individually poised to save everyone with his mighty net that he was just using to catch goblins has other purposes.
I think Cyril's going to take this opportunity. I kind of like the idea of Cyril like taking one long look at all of the nonsense that's happening like on the stage, and just kind of smoking away. Just looks at it and goes, well, I'm not going to be doing anything with any of that, and then just starts walking backstage and is going to start following around the perimeter of the studio to see if there's any folks who are trying to escape or trying to like flee the scene of a crime while all of this is happening. Basically seeing if there's any guilty consciences around.
I think you can take a plus sharp if you'd want, if you want answers to questions.
Okay. Let's see. Get my which dice shall I use today? I think I'm going to go with the blue and lavender. That seems to be thematic. All right, that is a 9 plus 2 sharp is an 11.
Excellent. Okay, no problem. So you can ask me 2 from the sharp question list, or any other appropriately worded question, and I will give you a truthful answer.
Okay. I guess who's in charge here, but specifically who's getting away from here? Like who's trying to like run away from the crime, and how could I get the mood back to casual? Are my 2 questions.
Okay, obviously the mood grudge at present. The person that you suspect is culpable here, or at least looks the guiltiest, as Kip crests the wave and goes, huh, very loudly. You also, tracing the perimeter going up the escapes into the rafters themselves, you also see the same shadowy individual run out of the storm door, or out of the security door, and you see those bulging pipes over there in that corner as well.
Mm-hmm.
And to get the mood back to casual, you're going to need to probably irrigate this whiteout, and you know that there is an emergency irrigation system in the base of every studio at Vision Animations.
Well, that's fun. Let's see. I guess that this would be I think that this would be a grudge move then, as I try to basically catch this like person who's trying to run away. And I think Cyril never wanted to really hurry for anything. Getting over here to the stage has probably been the most that the guy's run in months. He's just going to kind of like saunter up and like open up the fire exit, and is going to talk to anyone if folks are like, is something going on there? It's like, oh yeah, they're just flooding the Coliseum for the day. You know how it is. Just kind of like pulling at the pole to like bring the fire escape exit down, and goes up to it and is just going to wait for the person who like went through the security door to burst through, and is just going to try and trip them as they run out of the fire escape, so that they like fall over the ledge and like plummet a couple of stories down, Wile E. Coyote style.
All right, we'll get your result in just a second. But Sally, you've been fanning the whiteout wave here. It's being diluted with the water, and Kip is, of course, saving as many people as possible. Your gigantic fan has had the benefit of clearing the way and getting a lot of water over toward the nearest islands to you, and a lot of the Martian Amazonian cartoon characters that were created just for this episode, because Vision has that much money, are running off into the main thoroughfares of the studio that you've managed to save here. Do you want to take any action here in this moment, as you see there's a lull here? You think it's starting to calm down?
I guess I'll stop fanning. Is there anything else that I can see? Can I see like the pipes that haven't released any water or anything like that?
Yes, over in the corner where you can see the Julie's paladin is starting to go like sail over into that direction. Those pipes you suspect are either broken or not filled with water.
Oh. Hmm. Um, that changes what I was gonna do. Can I guess I'm gonna try and shoot at the pipes.
Sure.
Because I'm assuming that they're filled with water, because that's totally a thing.
Okay.
Nothing bad can happen here.
Do you have a real piece, or is it a cartoon gun or a crossbow? What's going on?
Actually, so Sally's gonna rummage through her bag again,
Just
and
as
she's
a
gonna
gun.
pull out her two pistols
Oh my gosh.
from
Yo!
Southwest Sally.
Right. Absolutely.
And she's gonna look at them and be like, "Man, I wish I could have used you guys more." And then she's just gonna start popping up at the
Yo!
uh, at the
And that's just when I started blasting.
yeah.
So I started blasting. So
Okay, I have to ask, like, are these Toon guns? Like, do these guns talk? Do they have
are they alive?
were they also fired when you were fired?
I would say that they are thoroughly just props. They should not be in her bag, but they are.
Wait, so does that mean they're loaded with blanks? If it was just a prop, was it never armed?
Sally doesn't know.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Anyway, she starts blasting.
Anyway, she starts blasting. That sounds plus tough to me.
Okay.
Or I think you may have a playbook move that's appropriate here.
I think if we're in grudge mode, Sally can definitely use her grudge move here.
You certainly can.
Oh yeah, let me.
Yeah, scuffle. This is definitely a grudge match.
Oh, for sure. Okay. Everything right. Table this time. 6 and 5 again. Okay. 13.
Whew.
Total carnage. Dish out
Yeah.
damage to a bunch of minor characters, trash the place, and look pretty scary doing it. This will end all but the most major of fights.
Oh my gosh.
But it may have other side effects, such as bringing down the house.
Oh.
So Miss Sally Sable.
Mm-hmm.
On set, of course, the arms master and, of course, prop and all your grips intimated to you that these were not real. These are not real guns. They were never really loaded. No one was in any danger on Southwest Sally. That's not true.
Oh.
As you plug
Okay.
away akimbo with your Western revolvers, you completely decimate the pipes directly over Julie's palanquin, and they burst apart violently, shooting a hole through the roof as water shoots down both horizontally in either direction, but not horizontally, vertically in either direction. And Julie is drenched with water to the point that he begins to sail up against one of the studio windows in the sound box and sails across the studio grounds themselves. And the rest of the water that you now realize should have been squirting all over Studio 4 now begins to come to rescue everyone. But you are more than certainly destroying Studio 4 with this action. What happens? What's going on internally?
Internally, Sally is now panicking because she is remembering that she was told that the guns were they had blanks, and they in fact do not. So now
Look,
she's
we
just
know that, and the arms
yeah,
master knows that, but nobody told the guns that they were.
Yeah, right.
exactly.
Nobody told the guns they were.
Are they
Internally,
sentient
she's
now?
just
Is that
like,
what we're
"Oh."
going with?
Apparently. Art imitates real. So she's just like, wow, so I've had these in my bag this whole time. Huh, I'll have to remember that. And then she just like holsters them.
the final counter removed, we have certainly decimated this whiteout wave and saved the cast of Why So Serious Caesar and all its new extras. As you see, the irrigation system, Cyril, you get to the lever right at the right time as all this water begins to cascade. Instead of washing the tunes down the drain after the whiteout, Sally has created an opening here. Kip, you have just basically everyone in your little safety toboggan, all the Martian Amazonians and all of the Toon Romans. You're sailing your way. You were sailing your way toward Julie before he was launched across the face of the studio. And Sky Herald, of course, you're perfectly safe as well,
I think
having
I would
started
have.
this whole cavalcade.
I think after pulling the fire alarm, I would have like like jumped on somebody's helmet or whatever and like gotten to the boat with Kip, and I'm just kind of like hanging, just kind of riding it out there.
But I will take that final grudge roll from Cyril.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So my grudge move is pragmatic. I roll plus laughs. So currently have +1 to that. Okay, that is a 9 plus 1 is a 10.
Okay, you can choose one.
Okay, let's see. Hurt a single target, but you become dirty or disheveled in the process. Until you get cleaned up, everyone you meet will comment on your shabby appearance. That's very fun. Or crack wise to your target. They then injure themselves if they miss you. I think that's the one that makes sense here. The idea was that Sarah was basically going to wait outside the escape for this person to come out. And I almost like the idea of as they're like running, Cyril is like has a second cigarette in his mouth and has lit it and it's kind of puffed up and says cigarette dear as they walk by. It's like, oh, thank you very much. Takes it, starts going. It's like, how's your day going? Oh, I can't complain. I can't complain. And then they get hit by the banister for the fire escape and just tumble down as Cyril looks down and. Just kind of like looks down and goes, Kip, could you throw a net on that one?
As Kip
So,
is on the ship, and he's like sitting there with the catch of netting of all the extras, like taking a photo with his catch. Oh yeah, sure. And he releases everybody with like pull, and everyone's like flopping on the deck, like a catch of fish, like. Whoa!
You're a peach, dear.
all right,
Just
that net sailing over, I will say, the moment this figure bursts out of the security door and you're up on the outside fire escape, you're looking at the most frightening human man you have ever seen in your life. Built fully like Frankenstein's monster. This gentleman is rough looking and muscle bound and wearing like a custodian's uniform, mostly like a denim coverall. And you notice there's an actor's equity pin on the lapel there. And this 6'5", 300 pound, but mostly muscled gentleman, um, perhaps not dwarfing Cyril, but certainly in width. This this very powerful looking individual with a frightening stoic face and solid like blockhead
my
looks at you.
my goodness, dear. You're a Valley 6 and a Studio 3, and I'm being kind. Have I used that joke already? Just kind of looks over and just keeps like sizing this guy up and down.
Yep, the mood now reduced to dicey. Kip, what move do you want to make to see if you can get the net on this massive man?
So, I've already thrown it. Is this someone I recognize?
He reminds you of someone that works for Vision Animations,
Okay.
but you don't
Um,
recognize him.
then I'm going to go with I'm gonna go with cool
Okay.
because I think while I recognize him, I think his features surprise me. And once you throw it, you gotta be able to like tie it taut at just the right time. You gotta keep your cool. And I have a straight 0 on that one, so it's just the die
And,
roll.
and I will say I misspoke. He doesn't look like someone that works for Vision Animations. He looks like someone who works for GLG Entertainment, their main
Oh,
competitor.
Oh,
okay, I see, I
oh,
see, I
well,
see.
that makes things very different then.
Yes, indeed. So as Kip throws the net, he's got the best form, like whoa, and he kind of looks. Oh, I rolled 5.
Excellent. So,
Um, oh wait, there's actually something that I can do with that.
yep.
Because my wisecrack move allows me to change outcomes. Uh, oh, sorry, but if I guess if it would make sense to like hear what would happen and then see how I can, change that with my
So
move.
here's Cyril, you see this future coming into the fore. Sky Herald and Sally Sable, you also see this coming. You've tripped this individual down the fire escape. He collides with the banister, and you ash your cigarette on top. The net is coming. This man shoots up like the Undertaker, balls the net in his hand, and like the weights at the end, and swings it back at Kip like Ebola.
Uh-huh.
And just also spins himself to his feet in that same motion and starts to take off. You see that like you have a very split second violent vision of the future for a moment here where you see
Hmm.
Kip getting clobbered.
Hmm. Think all right, well I think I'll roll first and then from there I'll be able to see if uh my clever remark has any effect. So I have slide +2. Would the question that I asked with my
Yes, this
sharp
will give you
roll?
+1 forward acting on this
Okay,
individual.
excellent. So that'll give
+3
me,
to this.
here we go. That is a 6 and a 3. That's a 9 +3 is a 12. All right. So let's see. I get to, after a fellow player fails to do something, tell them what they did wrong. Tell someone who's about to do something that they can't do it. If they try anyway, they fail. Successfully explain to someone that it's in their best interest to just leave things well enough alone or for you to be on your way. Um, I think, oh, okay. Uh, I think that Cyril like looks over at Kip and says, uh, Kipper dear, do you remember that one time whenever you were an extra on that Moby Dick re-release that they tried to do with Tom and Jerry about 2 years ago?
And as this has been released, oh yeah, I remember that. You know what was really interesting about that one? And
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
told
yeah, yeah.
that, yeah, huh, yeah, and it just kind of like tugs the rope just a little bit, and it just kind of moves it over the physics over just a little bit. And Jerry was really nice, but Tom was like really interesting. He didn't actually like the food that we offered him, but and he just starts to ramble on and on and on and on. But the net then moves over.
Yeah. So Cyril's just like nodding, like, uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh, you don't say. Oh yeah, Tom's a real class act, and is just like watching as like Kip's form is like slowly turning into something, on the level of an actual, like professional whaler.
Yeah, Kip,
Like,
his physique bursting out of his coveralls for a moment. Like a little Ahabby.
mhm.
Yeah. There's a moment here to intercede. Sky Herald, you see Kip is not going to get clobbered here, but this large man still stands to get away. But you have a moment here while Kip prepares to rearm the net and fire it again. What, if anything, do you do?
Um, hmm. That's a really good question. Let me look at my moves. Because I'm still a frog at this point, and it's, not hard to change back. Ooh, can I? So we're still trying to, make sure the net, catches the guy, right?
Yes, that is, I imagine what
Okay.
Kip's next action is.
So I think that I would like to turn back into human hobbit shape. And I'm going to use my unique Brainiac move, scheming. And I am going to try, hopefully, I'm going to aim for a +10 and being able to solve a complicated math problem and work out the physics of the angle and force needed for this net to land in the right place. And then as I shoot it again, hopefully it works.
All right, let's see it. Give me that scheming. Plus sharp.
That's a 12.
Okay.
So I get to choose one. I am going to solve a complicated math problem.
I think that you will be giving the next move, of course, will Kip's next move, if it's to throw the net, will automatically succeed. But you will give the next move after that +1 forward.
Okay.
So I think the situation here, I think I've already thrown the net.
Yes.
So I think the situation is Cyril's already has said things, and I've my movements have changed, cartoon physics wise has changed the direction, the physics of it, just like
I understand.
Okay.
All right. So you have already rethrown the net, or the net was already out. You've cast it somehow with your cartoon zany magics.
Exactly.
And it collides against this muscle-bound individual. And he starts tumbling ass over tea kettle down a set of stairs toward an adjoining parking lot that is used for the physical actors and the physical grips and the humans, so to speak. It begins to tumble down into that parking lot. Perhaps netted up, but certainly hurt. All right. That is where we stand. The cast of Why So Serious Caesar variably dispersing as fast as humanly possible, leaving the grounds, given their brush with near total annihilation, as a unique experience for most Toons. The four of you having faced off perhaps the most dangerous thing that you've individually seen, and you hear the not far off blaring of sirens, both fire engines and the kappas. But this is where you stand as studio security, the security guerrillas, the cops and firemen, and probably EMTs, cartoon and real, all converging on vision animations. And you hear, you actually see two large storks, cartoon storks, carrying a little stretcher. They walk over. They are carrying Julius Caesar, and the two of them are both going wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, as they run by you. Julie still has not lit up their cigarette.
I think as he's going by, Cyril is going to just kind of lean down from the fire exit and stretch his arm down and just click his lighter as Julie goes by, and to say, "Literary irony, dear. You should probably read up on it."
Et tu?
Well, at least he always makes his lines.
But this is where you stand. The culprit's still at large, perhaps netted up, but everyone is on their way.
I think
Yeah.
Sky's first instinct when the emergency lights and cops show up is to shrink back frog form, both to not be arrested and also to like listen in on like hop around, go find the sheriff or lead detective or whatever, and like listen in on like what do they think is happening? Do they know anything else? Trying to catch some more hot goss, as the kids say.
All right. In this moment, the rope in Kip's hand, or perhaps attached to his belt, still leading, as if this person is definitely netted up, running somewhere. But in this brief moment now, as everyone has emerged safely from Studio 4, it fully collapses into the ground.
Hmm. Well, that was a great deal of sound and fury that ultimately came to nothing. What, really? Julius Caesar, The Tempest. I was going for a Shakespearean. You know what? I'm wasted on you people.
All right. And given everything that happened in that last scene, that is definitely a +1 laugh for all of my friends here. Everyone now has, if they didn't have already, one
Uh,
laugh.
and because I still am currently leading for laughs, anyone who wants to can steal one from me.
Yeah, you can have one more story point if you'd like.
Remind me again what we can do with laughs.
Laughs are rerolls, but I'm also
Okay.
using them as story points. You can use them to
Gotcha.
declare or change things,
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
pending cast approval.
Mhm. And yeah, like it isn't like it isn't a bad thing to steal laughs from someone who has the straight face ability. That's kind of the point. I'm sort of everyone's, bank. That's
Yep.
the idea behind the move.
Cyril holds on to the laughs for us, otherwise we would lose them.
Making everyone better by being funnier. You are so Sky, you can take that move certainly. Does anyone want to make any move to follow the culprit, or are we going to just let bygones be bygones there?
I mean, I think Cyril is definitely, you know, invested in, like figuring out where this person is going, and like did notice the actor's equity pin, and um, I mean, has some experience in, like tailing, like large guys around from, his own
Oh my.
career. So is just gonna kind of do that. Um, I almost don't know if this is something that he would explicitly like tell everyone, like, oh hey, I'm gonna peel off and do this. I think that Cyril just sort of like sees everything's well in hand. I think he gives Sally a little bit of a wave and goes, you know what, dear, if the whole thing doesn't work out with acting, I think you should try for the plumbers union. They have a lot of pull in this town, and then just kind of pieces out and starts following the
Whoa.
breadcrumbs.
That's a triple entendre. Good golly. So so Sky, you
You know
did
what? I should have said they hold a lot of water in this
oh.
town. That's
Comes
what I should have
back.
said.
Comes back from off screen, throws the
Retcon.
camera.
Yeah, no. I actually say to would absolutely do that. Like exit stage, I'd come back and say,
Wait.
you know what? Just pretend like I said that they hold a lot of water in this
Take
town.
two.
Yeah. Anyway, see you, dear, and then goes back.
So Sally, Kip, and Sky, you're still here as Cyril just unannounced kind of tapers off. The three of you see Darnell Gaines, the elderly black quartermaster from that you spoke to last episode. He is conversing with Leo, the security gorilla, who's wearing the bellhop's uniform. And as he searches the crowd of survivors and security and all the different members of Vision Animations, you see him point at Sally Sable. And, yep.
Uh, oh, I have nothing.
Okay. They start to walk over, pushing through the crowd, making it a very easy beeline because of Leo the gorilla's massive strength.
Gorilla
Mm,
ness.
Yeah.
just And his wonderful personality, I think.
I mean, yeah, he's magnetic. He really is. He's an excellent bassist, especially when you don't make fun of him.
He attracts and repels.
I'm picturing Andre the Giant in The Princess Bride. Everybody move! And they're just.
That's exactly what's happening. Darnell Gaines bringing up the rear on that situation. Another guerrilla security guard starts to peel on.
I don't know. I imagine him kind of like Taron Egerton's gorilla in Sing. He's very sweet, very soft spoken. Leo. I know a different kind of Leo. He's a great singer.
As Cyril is like walking by, just like hears something and goes, "That movie was overrated, dear."
You know what? No, it wasn't. It was great.
It was a jukebox musical in an era where jukebox musicals don't even make any sense anymore.
Everyone loves jukebox musicals.
Name one that is enjoyed by most people and isn't just something that they'll watch if it's on the television.
Sing!
That doesn't... Just flaps his hand and keeps walking.
Sky, do you want to make me a cool or sharp roll to see if you can figure out where the police are, if they're setting up a perimeter?
Yes, I would like to roll sharp because it's like read the situation more so than when the mood isn't casual, I guess. So I'm going to roll plus sharp. That is an 11. So I get to ask 2 from my list of questions. Yep. I am going to ask who's in charge here. That's one.
Okay.
And like even it like who's like really in charge here? Like does the lead detective really know what's going on, or is there someone else that knows what's going on? That's what I'm looking for. And then I think the other one is I'm deciding between what's missing and what's the biggest threat.
I mean, both of those are very good questions.
Yeah.
I feel, especially given our
I think it's going to be
needs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really hard to tell what's missing because of the sheer catastrophic mess that's around us. So I think I'm going to go with who is the biggest threat for my other question.
Okay, so can you give me those again? I'm sorry.
First question is who's in charge here, who's really in charge here, and then who is the biggest threat.
So you see the police setting up basically a perimeter around Vision Animations. They haven't quite cut off that employee parking lot that Cyril is tailing the wounded culprit near, presumably. They have basically working in concert with the guerrilla security that Vision Animations hired. The actors union, you can see, has dispersed due to the oppressive police presence at present. But perhaps the person in charge here is a person all of you instantly recognize, a southerly gentleman wearing to call it a checkerboard suit is offensive perhaps to checkerboards because it's not white and black. It's a very loud checkerboard print suit, and instead of a tie, he's wearing a bolo. You look at the bright bald head and mighty mustache of the 50-ish, 60-year-old Beaumont Ignatius Stone, CEO, owner, proprietor of Vision Animations.
Beautiful.
Clearly running the show here, telling police where to go and where not to be. His appearance is heralded, of course, by the appearance of 2 large cartoon gargoyles that he is always accompanied by. And that flap down into the crowd, and he steps off of one.
Sick.
Like a fantasy villain.
That's a sick entrance.
Yeah.
Respect.
Jesus Christ.
He's an absolute villain.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be hopping around following that guy.
So who's really in charge here, and who's the biggest threat?
Yeah.
You see unabashedly approaching and not at all obstructed. You see that trio of like suits that you saw last episode. Mr. Mercury, one of them that you heard the name of. The third woman you don't know, but Numsy the donkey also
Oh, the
a
ones that I stole from?
yes, you see them unobstructed approach Beaumont Ignatius Stone, and even in the full view of others, you see that Beaumont deferentially like gets his ear toward this guy as Mercury walks up.
I love the idea that Numsy the donkey is like some aspirational story in Bivdale. It's like, you know what? Numsy came here with nothing. Numsy
Yep.
came here with nothing. Started as an extra. Now look at him.
Now Numsy the donkey, she's a corporate suit. Look at her.
Look at her.
Does does Numsy the donkey wear a suit?
Numsy the donkey wears a suit, and they don't wear it on the legs. They wear like a full jacket that
Hmm.
is the front legs, and then the pants are the hind legs, as
I
is
I want to
appropriate.
imagine that there's a little name tag somewhere or like sewn into the lining of the garment that just says
Hmm.
hashtag girl boss.
Yes, definitely. And to your knowledge, Numsy cannot talk.
Okay.
That's a fun bit of information as well.
Beautiful.
We of course cut away now from this moment. We see Beaumont Ignatius Stone and his gargoyle bodyguards, sort of deferentially listening to Mercury and his two attachés, and they're surrounded by a horde of sycophants and PAs. We go now to sort of the parking structure. Cyril, where are you and what are you doing?
Um, I think that again, Cyril is mostly just um tailing this individual. Um, so I think just sort of obliquely following them, not like not constantly trying to keep up, but it's one of those things where if I almost like the idea that you know we switch POVs to like this person, and what it looks like is you know him just like you know like stalking around trying to pull the net off, you know, looking around frantically, and then he looks over and you know he sees Cyril just like you know leaning up on a tree, you know, smoking. Then you know like waving at him and like turns around, starts, you know, like trying to go through an alleyway, trying to cut through, you know, like between cars or whatever, looks around and, you know, like Cyril is, you know, chatting up the hot dog guy on the side of the sidewalk, looks over, waves at him, kind of a thing.
Why don't you give me a plus sly in that case to
Okay.
convince him that he's not being followed?
Just a who the heck is
It's a
this
bunch of
guy?
funny coincidence.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of the same looking guy around, I guess.
Yeah. Didn't I see that guy on television once? Oh, that is a 4 plus 2 for Sly. That's a 6. I think, hold on.
Hmm.
At any time, you can spend two. Okay, so here's the thing. I have 2 laughs, and
You
with
do.
straight face, I can't like use laughs the way other people can. I can't use them for re-rolls.
Nope.
But if I have two, I can take +6 backward, which means that I can modify a roll that I already made.
Hmm.
Um, so I can take this 6 and I can turn it into a 12.
Yes, you
And
can.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Um, uh, there's a universe, Cyril, that you are very aware in the moment that you lose sight of him.
Mm.
The hairs on your weird animal cartoon body stand up on end, and you realize that you are in danger.
Oh.
You have an atavistic reaction to this gentleman, losing sight of him in this dark
Hmm.
parking garage.
Well, I'd like to say that this is an unfamiliar feeling, but
But with a 12 plus, he doesn't figure out he's being tailed right away. And you do eventually, holding on to that emotion, I imagine, see him get on a very large motorcycle, kickstart it, and it starts to take off.
So on a 12 plus,
Mm-hmm.
is there a possibility, whether or not this motorcycle had a sidecar on it before, that there is now a sidecar that like has the canvas on it, and Cyril is now in there, hidden?
I think if someone else wanted to spend a laugh, yeah, certainly. Does anyone
Well,
want to give
we
Cyril
got
their
any
laugh?
takers?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Sally Sable, thank you very much for donating your laugh.
I,
Cyril, are you hidden in this sidecar?
well, I think especially with like Sally being the one who donated the laugh, I almost like the idea of Sally, getting pulled into the gag where wherever Sally is, she gets a ring, like coming out, like from her bag, like some old Nokia style ringtone. Um,
Wow.
Yeah, I totally. So while Sally can see like the security people that are walking up to her, and she's
Yep.
like panicking, looking for the nearest exit, and then she hears her phone ring, and she picks it up and just gets like pulled to the phone, I guess,
Yep.
bag and
it's
all.
it's like, Sally dear, is that you?
hmm
How are things going over there?
Not so great. I don't know what I should do. I kind of want to talk to these guys, but I also think they might not want to talk to me.
Well, always be networking, dear, especially in
Yes.
your position. But I just wanted to call you because I seem to be in a bit of a predicament. Um,
hmm
I was trailing that fellow, and I lost him, and I realized that I should probably hide, so I ducked into the sidecar of a motorcycle that I saw.
Okay.
And now that motorcycle is currently moving, and I'm pretty sure that that fella's on the main seat right now.
Okay. Yeah, just do me a favor, grab my hand, and you just see her hand appear through the phone.
Oh,
Yep.
well,
In an intimate and friendly position, the two of you already in a cramped sidecar that's kind of covered with a little tarp. The two of you are now cramped together. Um, close both of your phones.
oh, well. I never was one for any of this new technology, but I gotta say the convenience is really winning me over.
Very convenient.
What, if anything, is Kip getting up to in this moment as we cut back toward you? You get lost in this crowd instantly. No one really differentiates that you were possibly involved.
Yeah, Kip had come out of the wreckage of Studio 4, um, holding like the melting like a melting bunch of grapes
Hmm.
from the because when you melt whatever cartoon, it just kind of deforms. And this actually, when you melt a whiteout, it turns into jam. So he's actually putting it on some toast, and so he's eating it. And so he suddenly sees, Sally disappear. Huh, all right, all right. And he sees Sky over there. And he just, hey, Sky! Sky!
uh,
And walks over.
just a little frog croak.
What you doing?
Another croak in response.
Mm. You want some? And there's like just like jam and whiteout,
Uh,
just coming off this toast. Want some?
As you hold it down, lower to the ground where I would be able to reach, a little fly comes along and hovers above the jam and whiteout mixture, and Sky's little frog tongue darts out and eats the fly instead of any of the jam.
Hmm. I mean, wouldn't you choose their own? As I look around and I see Beaumont Stone, the Beaumont Ignatius Stone. Oh, it's Mr. Stone. Uh, and I was like, oh wait, hold on, I think I got something for him. And as I reach down, um, I think I'm gonna leave it up to you as to whatever it is that I need to deliver to him.
I think Sky Herald, you see Kip Hopperman pull out from his handy dandy fanny pack or front pocket on the coveralls, if I remember correctly. He pulls out the most cartoonishly, and it is a real envelope, but the most cartoonishly obvious like bundle of money, just like taped up and just in a manila envelope that's very crumpled, but clearly a fat wad of cash. And it's not earmarked for anyone. It's just a fat wad of cash that Kip has. And he starts walking toward Beaumont
So,
Ignatius
As we
Stone.
watch
so
this,
so it's a bundle of a wad of cash, but it's like sticking out of an envelope.
Yeah.
as we
Okay,
so
so-
as we as we watch this exchange happen, it gets handed over. It's like almost in slow mo as Kip is handing it over, and then you like pan into the frog with like just these very like wide, unknowing, no brain cell eyes, right? But you like panning closer, and then we get like a half translucent overlay on the screen of like papers on a corkboard and red yarns like connecting to one another, and it's just like a little insert of Sky's brain.
The mind palace is at work.
Yeah.
And then Hopperman, do you just fully give him the wad?
Yeah, I just like as I'm pulling it out, I'm like my fingers are all sticky with like jam
Yeah.
white out toast. I'm like, ooh, Mr. Stone, hold on, I got your thing, and I'm walking over.
No, you're one
And-
of many people like fighting for his attention at this moment.
Yeah, and I'm still holding my tongue, Mr. Stone, and I'm just like pushing people aside, and like the white out grape toast, it's like burning on people's clothes.
Yeah.
It's like wiping off. They're like, what the hell? Hold on, Mr. Stone.
And when his focus goes to you and like Mr. Mercury steps away for a moment and Numsy the donkey like just sort of lip trills at you because you recognize Numsy the donkey. And
Everyone
I don't know
knows
that
Numsy.
Hi, Numsy.
everyone knows Numsy. Yeah, hi Numsy.
Numsy and I have history. I'm not gonna go into it.
Yeah,
So,
Stone
Kip,
looks
would you
at
say that Numsy the donkey has girl power?
Oh,
Would you say?
Numsy has go power. That's all I'm gonna say. But we have history.
Numsy the donkey is Bivdale's Toon Margaret Thatcher, I guess. When Stone looks at you and you have his undivided attention, you sort of feel his attention on you. It's like everyone sort of stops and no one's looking at you, Kip, but everyone's looking at you. I don't know if you clock that, Sky. You certainly do.
No,
and
absolutely not.
Stone just fully says, apropos of nothing, that's my favorite thing about Toons. They're so loyal.
So Mr. Stone is human then.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Mr. Stone, I got your package.
Thanks very much. Kip.
Oh, you're welcome. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Why don't you run along? And he hands you a peanut.
Ooh, peanut. Yum. Oh, this will go great with this. And just like still
Yeah,
has some
instantly
jam,
slaps
jam
it on the
my
sandwich
hand.
and it becomes peanut butter.
Oh no, I ate the toast, but I just still have some jam and white out on my hand. That's great. Numsy. As I walk off.
Now that's
Real.
something else.
Real tribute to Toonkind there, Kip.
Yep. Absolute hero. So we transition back. Sky, Kip, completely unobstructed, was able to approach Stone, no issue. Those gargoyles just kind of fading into the background. The guerrilla security guard no longer able to locate Sally Sable, is saved at the last second by Cyril's misadventure. You see this situation very quickly start to dissolve. There's almost the cops show up, the firemen show up. Any damage that's being like that took place is not really addressed, and you watch that happening. There's so much of not a problem that it is particular to you, is peculiar to you. You're just like no money changes hands that you can see while watching this, but just like everything's fine. We're great. How are you? I appreciate what you do for the city. That guy.
See, I already have a theory, and that supports my theory.
So a whole lot of nothing happens. We cut back into the sidecar, our B plot right now, our A plot, B plot. We cut over to the B plot, um, Cyril and Sally. It has been a cool 20-30 minutes, you think. There have been a lot of right turns. There's a great deal of highway,
Mm,
and you could tell that just audibly.
yeah.
And then the motorcycle is deposited somewhere in the city, you think, of Bivdale, probably downtown. Um, just roll me a quick D6, Sally, if you wouldn't mind.
Also, I do just sort of like the idea that this entire time Sally has been having to listen to Cyril talk about, his assorted misadventures in the late 60s and mid 70s
Nice.
in Biff Down. It's like, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, I'm the reason that Casey Kasem ended up becoming a vegan. So, you can thank me for why Shaggy wound up being a vegetarian himself. Casey and Shags, they go way back. Uh, but no, I mean that was all on me. I mean I don't say anything about it in the press or on the
Wow,
radio,
you're
but
so humble.
I need you to clarify something. Are you saying that Shaggy and Casey Kasem are not the same person?
no, no, Casey and Shaggy met on the set of Scooby-Doo. Casey was a well-known and up-and-coming radio DJ at the time, and he kind of took Shaggy under his wing, and like sort of because yeah, like Norville Roberts was like this like weird
Yeah.
Southern kid who was trying to like make it in
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
and so like like the whole West Coast surfer dude thing, he got all of that from Casey. And
Mhm.
and,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
no one
Mhm.
will tell you that. No one will
Mhm.
tell you that all of Shaggy's deal was fake, but really, Shaggy's from like I don't know, I think he's from Missouri or something. He's
Oh
like
my God.
old money, but no one tells you that.
So,
So
so
what
what you're
did you
saying, so what you're saying is Shaggy's entire personality, his entire voice and everything
Yeah.
is fake.
He, it's not fake, dear. It's just that he got it from Casey Kasem, who was
Yeah.
his good
Yeah.
friend
Mhm.
whenever he
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
starting
Mhm.
out.
It's
And
not
then
fake,
once,
dear.
he
It's just unoriginal.
yeah,
there it is.
it's fine being derivative. It's okay to
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah, yeah.
unoriginal.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Everything's a role. Everything's a role. I just need to know what
We
what
like cartoons, okay,
Norville what
people?
actually sounds like.
We don't know. It's a big mystery.
And the world may
Well,
never
Shrouded in
well,
know.
origins.
I mean Cyril knows, but he's promised that he's not going to tell anyone.
What did you get, Sally, on your fortune die there?
So I rolled a 6. Apparently the dice are hot today.
The dice are hot today. Get
Yeah.
out. Wow. So the two of you are deposited somewhere in Bivdale, downtown, you think. With a 6, Sally, you actually recognize audibly where you are. There's a bar in Little Sketch called the Quarter Portion Club, and you are right outside the Quarter Portion Club. And you can tell that because the jukebox is completely, and quote me on this, screwed up. They play songs from cartoons that never quite made it off. And you notice that you're outside the Quarter Portion Club. And if you were to peek your head out, you see that you're in an alley and the bike is covered up. And that is where we're going to take a break.
All right.
Ooh. All right. We will be back in a hot 10.
Bye, everyone.
Hot 10.
See
Bye
you in a
bye.
sec.
Hello
One of these
again.
days, I'm going to remember to be quiet during quiet time.
Never. Don't
Today
ever
is not that
change.
day.
No.
Great, great opener.
Do not attempt to adjust your television set. It's a tune to die for, and we're back. Episode 2, the Ides. Our party has saved the cast of Why So Serious Caesar from the Ides of March. So that's pretty good. They wounded, completely altering history. They wounded the apparent assailant of the whole shebang. This large, like Rondo Hatton, Frankenstein's monster looking guy. And the many conspiracy walls continued to be red threaded as Sky Harold and of course Kip Hopperman witnessed some sort of non-interaction between Beaumont Ignatius Stone and the authorities. Arriving after the destruction of Studio 4, Cyril kidnapping, friendship napping, Sally Sable on his way investigating the assailant's trail.
I mean, I feel like it was mutual.
That felt mutual. You're right.
It
And
was dimension dooring.
perfectly
Yeah.
Hoyle. Yeah. And the two of you realize in downtown Bivdale, some 40 minutes, a fast 40 minutes, I will say, down some highways and parkways through Bivdale. You are in Little Sketch, the rough cartoon neighborhood, as you are outside the Quarter Portion Club, a club Sally you're familiar with because they always play the songs of Toon shows or cartoons that never really got off the ground, theme songs, closings, bumpers. And Cyril, you're aware of this club because the owner is a member of your community.
Oh, uh, like part of my golf group, or someone from the sodas.
Someone from your golf group.
Oh, and I
And
think then I think Cyril has a look and goes, "Oh, well, I guess things could have been a little worse." You go here often, Sally?
You know, here and there. It's nice to hear your theme song every once in a while.
I suppose so. You know what? I was real happy that they got Ming Curtin to do yours. Ming's just a wonderful, wonderful man.
It really is.
Yeah. You know, I actually was in the studio whenever he did Battle of the Planets. Uh,
Oh,
it was a lot of fun watching him work.
yes,
Wow.
the owner and proprietor of the Quarter Portion Club is a man by the name of Stepan Lunger, a well-to-do human. He is the owner of several bars, but the Quarter Portion Club his favorite,
Mm.
sort of a known quantity around downtown Bivdale. And the two of you are outside it, completely unaffected and unknown in this side alley here. The motorcycle dumped next to the restaurant bar's dumpster in the back here with a tarp thrown over it that's very old and grungy looking.
So, might surprise you, Sally. I'm kind of new to this whole amateur sleuth type thing. You think we should go in the front and rustle the trees, or should we try and slip through the back and see if we can catch some folks unawares? I could talk with the owner too. Uh, he's he he was part of the golf group that I was with. We'd play on Sunday. Wint was there too.
hmm. Well, the also amateur sleuth in me thinks that we should go through the back, but I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. Maybe if we go through the front door, we'll you know, catch the bigger fish.
Oh well, all right, little pistol. You can lead us in. Kind
All
of,
right.
like makes a big expansive gesture towards the door.
All right. The front of the Quarter Portion Club, it used to be some sort of restaurant The kitchen is still in there. It is not being used to the same standard when it was a little upscale restaurant back before a little sketch fell by hard times. It is rowdy in here this early afternoon, and there are regulars, Sally, at least that you recognize the few times perhaps that you've been here. The moment you stride up to the door, the familiar kick of a guitar just stings your ears as you realize they are playing the closer to Southwest Sally.
Oh. Um. Uh. I know I said I would kind of take point on this, but I'm worried someone might recognize me if they hear my theme song. So
Um,
she's gonna like shuffle back a little bit.
I love the idea of like Sally just bursting through the door, hearing her closing theme, and then just like kind of inching back out as Cyril watches.
That is exactly what's happening.
It's like, well, that was a good first start, kid. Let's see what take two looks like.
So as we're walking in, can we see the motorcycle guy?
So as you walk in, you see the bartender who's usually here, a guy by the name of Felix Scrumkey. He's the typical bartender here. You know he's a drug dealer.
Oh, good.
Yep, he's a drug dealer.
Oh, good. Of course.
He's got a side hustle. He's a known quantity. He sells. He usually sells to just tunes. He doesn't live around in Little Sketch, but he works in the Quarter Portion Club. It is filled with its usual regulars who are more often than not cartoon fruits and vegetables.
Okay, I'm very curious.
Mhm.
So is this implying that Toons have their like own line existence of recreational drugs, or is this implying that Toons consume and metabolize them differently than humans?
Tunes consume and metabolize them differently than humans.
Okay. Okay.
So
I
is
just wanted to
Felix
break down.
human or is he a
He's a
Toon?
human. He's a human man.
Okay.
You don't recognize the really rough looking motorcyclist that you chased, or I guess rode with here, in and amongst the crowd, but you do see that Felix Scrumkey um, looks like he's had it rough. He's unshaven and unblinking, as there is a sort of Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks looking fella sitting at the bar that you don't recognize, who's just sort of idly spinning on a bar stool. And I say Dale Cooper because he's very obviously, to the two of you, a Fed.
Oh, that's I mean that sets off all kinds of alarms in Cyril's head.
Yeah, just
Um,
clean cut, but like a rough 40,
mhm,
a
mhm.
rough 40 years old. And he himself a little unshaven, on clearly on the opposite side of coming up from a bender.
I think Cyril's just going to go to the bar and like like looks down to Sally and says, "Hey, so I guess I'll do the talking and you can watch my back, I suppose." And goes over to Felix and says, "Hi, Felix. How are we doing today?"
We're really good. We're really good,
Oh, that's
Mr. Seda.
that's great. That's great to hear, Felix.
Mm-hmm.
So, is your boss in the office today? We've lost a fellow member of our golf group, and I just, wanted to be a good neighbor and check in.
Mr. Lunger is out today, Mr. Seda.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
And do we have any idea when he might be back to work, or?
He did not leave any word on when he'll be coming back in. But and he's like, robotically cleaning a cup.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I,
Yeah.
s- I see. Well, um, that's great to know, Felix. And yeah, I think Cyril is just trying to like get a handle on what the heck is going on here. Um, is this something where I can roll plus sharp to maybe
Absolutely.
okay.
Something is wrong.
This is not the vibe usually.
No.
I would just like to point out here, as Cyril said, to watch his back. Sally just has like binoculars up and is like scanning the room.
Yeah, that's not bizarre
Yeah,
behavior. Yeah, absolutely
yeah,
not.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. That is an 8 plus 1. That's a 9.
Okay, now that's on the sharp.
Yep.
Okay,
So I get
I
to
believe that's
ask.
one.
Yep, I get to ask one. So let's see. Is there a trap here? I think is a
Oh
good one.
wow. Yes. If it's for you, but yes.
Okay. Is there like a general shape that I can see of like what the trap is?
You
Physically or metaphorically or procedurally?
I think physically, Felix doesn't wash cups more often than not, doesn't do the whole bartender thing.
Mm,
Not his thing. This very like clear cut, polite, one level answers from Felix are not normal.
right. Yeah.
Um,
No, it's like the guy's a dirtbag and like Cyril would know that Felix
yes,
is a dirtbag.
Felix is a dirtbag. He's acting straight laced, and that is one uncomfortable, but two obvious to you.
Uh-huh.
He is very obviously not looking at the Fed,
Mm,
and he is being I mean, I don't have to tell you of being evasive about Lunger's um location.
right. Okay. I think so, like Cyril has like some experience basically like asking after someone or like trying to meet someone in a way where like neither party wants to like be known, right?
Hmm.
Um, so I'm trying to figure out like the best way to do this. This also is not funny. This is not going to be like a fun gag. But he's he's going to try and like use a signal that I think would be fairly decently known, by someone like Felix who like deals drugs. He's just going to, like idly fidget with one of his cigarettes and is just going to like keep mentioning uh Stefan. Um and it's just gonna like leave the cigarette on the bar for Felix to, like essentially like turn to point, like if there's a room or if there's like a specific way to walk towards to get to Stefan.
Right.
Um, and I think explicitly he's going to try and like sort of covertly threaten Felix, and basically is saying is like just going to keep like leaning the conversation closer and closer towards the sort of details that Felix would not want someone at the bar to talk about with, like a federal agent being in the room, just like saying, Felix, it's funny. You've been working here in a little sketch for, geez, 10, 15 years, but you live in the valley, don't you? And it's like, I've always wondered, because I mean, Stefan clearly likes you a lot. You've been bartender here for, well, for as long as it's been here. And I should know, I've been in this town for, well, and is like being very airy about it, but is very clearly like, like sending the message of show me where Stefan is, or I blow you out of the water here, and the cigarettes on the bar.
Yeah, on
Again,
top of
not
that,
funny at all.
right. Yeah, there is a very Sally, I don't know if you clocked this. Like Cyril is going hard on this guy. in the presence of a Fed, and there's just a lot of brass on the back of this guy right now. Just a very this is a very scary thing to do.
If I can try to not necessarily diffuse the situation, but move it along, I'm going to turn to Felix and say, "Hey, didn't you tell me the last time I was here that you had some memorabilia that you wanted signed by this guy over here?"
So
Oh, oh,
the moment you
Felix, I
say
didn't know you were a fan.
the moment you say memorabilia, the Fed stops spinning in his chair, and just has an empty scotch glass and turns it upside down, and he says, "Boy, that sure is interesting." We cut back to Vision Animations.
Oh, no.
Kip and Sky. What are you getting up to? You've seen the situation more or less completely get deflated by Mr. Stone's appearance. Darnell Gaines has resumed his work at Ink and Paint, watching the supply of things, and Leo the gorilla basically loses track of Kip Hopperman and Sky Herald. You can be anywhere in Vision Animations you'd like to be, or it's been a cool probably about an hour since you've seen the other two. You can have left, but if you wanted to stay behind to observe things, it's perfectly fine and up to you. You let me know what's going on.
Okay, I have a series of plans and questions that I want to seek out answers to. Uh, per the norm. So I'm gonna I'll back into, human-ish frog jacket Sky. And I'm gonna lead Kip away towards some of like the offices. If you want to follow, okay, cool. And as we're walking, I'm gonna I ask, who was that chunk of money from?
What chunk of money?
The big envelope full of a wad of cash that you handed to Stone. Who sent that?
Oh, you mean the envelope that I gave to Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where I actually picked it up. I remember. I give Mr. Stone all the envelopes all the time. He has lots of money. He gives me a lot, peanuts all the time for that money. I love peanuts. I usually have it with peanut butter, jelly, jam, whiteout.
Okay,
And
hold
then
on.
try to get
Pause,
some-
pause.
Yeah.
How often would you say you bring large wads of envelope cash to Stone?
Oh, probably about once a week. And every time he always gives me a peanut. And I have it with jam, jelly, whiteout. I try to have some toast with it, usually rye. The reason I have it with rye is because I always stop by this deli over on the other side of town
If I may.
Yeah,
So you take this money to Stone every week, right?
yeah.
Where do you get this money every week that you take to Stone? Where
The
does
money
it
I
come
give
from?
to Stone. Yeah, he gives me I give the money to Stone. He gives me a peanut. I always get the rye over there on the other side of town where I pick up the money. And this deli, this deli,
Okay.
the rye is so delicious.
At a
Um,
deli.
what was that?
I'm just following. I'm following what you're saying. You get it from a deli.
Yeah, I get it from the deli on the other side of town where I pick up the envelope. Um, this deli makes it fresh every single day. It's really delicious. They always have great pastrami as well. I always stop there after I pick up the money from what was the other studio?
GLG.
GLG Studio. I always get it over there by GLG Studios. But we should go over there right now.
So as we've been walking, I have been leading us toward offices, hopefully the like accounting area. And hey Kip, how often do you run errands and deliver things in here? Do you happen to have a key to this particular set of offices?
Oh, you mean these keys? And I just like reach down and grab it, and it's just like one big ring of keys. It's
Oh boy.
yeah, I got some keys.
Can you open this door for us, please?
I mean, sure, why not? I'm just gonna just do a random roll.
Yeah.
Which one do you? I'm gonna roll with a sharp because I have no idea. I'm gonna choose a key.
roll sharp.
My sharp roll is a -2.
Oh no!
Beautiful. Do it. Let's see it.
That would be an 8.
Okay. You can ask me one question. I think probably I know which question it is, but go ahead.
That I ask or that Kip asks?
That Kip asked.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see. If I'm looking for the key, which door did you want me to open, Sky?
The accounting office.
The accounting office.
Finance records.
I'm gonna say, as we were walking, we're going in here. What's and I am going through the keys and just like I continue talking about this amazing ride that they bake every single day. I do it. What's missing from here as we're going into the accounting office? I do
From the
find the
key
key
ring or the office?
from the office.
From the what's missing from here?
Yeah.
There is usually a very nice Toon receptionist or like a front desk woman up here named Pumpernickel, who is a cartoon hippopotamus. And she's not in, and that's very bizarre. Pumpernickel
Okay.
is always working, kind of like yourself.
Okay. So I open the door, and so you always go there, especially in the morning. That's when I get the envelope every single, and I stop. Huh? That's odd. I think the office is completely dark and
Yeah.
like, where's Pumpernickel? Interesting. As I walk in and just like do that like really sneaky walk that you do. Do I see anything?
So the two of you step into accounting. Envision Animations. Obviously, they don't have anything offshore. Mr. Stone wants it all here. And
Good.
you look at the accounting office here. It's two floors of a multi-level office building that he has his corporate suite on the top of. There's a helipad. Vision Animations is crazy. But you're in accounting right now. It's completely dark for one, as you pointed out, and devoid of human or toon life that you can tell. It is dark, quiet, and unlived in. And that is obvious to the two of you. Even Kip, usually a little spacey, without Pumpernickel here to do like your traditional greetings that you are so used to, the week-to-week drop-offs, it's sort of painfully empty in here. And it wasn't last week. It was full of people.
This is odd. I always drop off a sourdough to Pumpernickel every week.
Interesting. Could they have evacuated because of the emergency in Studio 4?
I mean, I don't know. I think I
Anyway.
might want to roll a a, s- a sly to take a look. I'm gonna pull out like a big old magnifying glass from my overalls.
I also
I
am
admit.
looking around.
I think we'll give that role to Sky.
Oh, okay.
Hello. I also
Whoa,
have
sorry.
my gimmick is sharp detail. So after I
Yep.
ask questions, I get +2 going forward. So I'm going to do a sharp roll, and I want to look in any financial account, record, ledger that I can get my hands on, and I'm looking for specifically where this cash might be going to or coming from, which account it would be in, whose name would have deposited it, anything relating to
Sure.
cash, large cash deposits and withdrawals.
Go
So,
ahead. I think that's a +4 for you. Something ridiculous right now.
well, I think I get the +2 going forward after I ask questions.
I understand.
So I get my regular +2 to this, and then actions I take after that I get +2.
Let's see the sharp then from Sky Herald.
All right, I got a 9, so I get one question. I am. I'm gonna use what's missing from here, and I want to look for like stuff that doesn't add up. Like accounts,
Okay.
deposit. Like if it doesn't add up, there's something clearly missing from it. That's what I'm looking for.
Get a little bit of forensic accounting in this cartoon crime show.
We're awesome.
Forensic accounting.
So forensic accounting, making up the difference in time between Sally Sable and Cyril's little misadventure over in Little Sketch. The two of you take time here, and with Kip's knowledge of the inner workings of this office, of course, because he's worked here, and Sky, your regular intuitive investigative know-how, the two of you piece together that there is nothing missing. There is a large sum coming every week into the production cost, or actually be coming from the production cost of Why So Serious Caesar. It's apparently like an enormously expensive show to produce. And there are quite a bit of there's quite a bit of large sums of money being taken for the production of the show.
But it doesn't say what they're being taken for.
It does not individualize. It's like
Okay.
it's
what
like
is it labeled? Like if it's just a large sum, what is it labeled? If it's something like vague or
there are large sums labeled like what's the word, craft
Craft services or discretionary spending or
the craft
Okay.
discretionary spending or office supplies. 79.95 for an office supplies
okay.
on such and such date.
The paper that I find this on, I'm gonna tear it out of the ledger and I'm gonna take it with me. This is now part of my evidence.
Hey, that's official paperwork. You're not supposed to take that.
I'm sure they have copies. Look, there's a copier right there. I bet they know how to use it.
Oh, then you should make a copy.
Okay, we'll pretend it was in a 3-ring binder, and I take it out of the binder, and I make a copy to take with me, and then I put the original back in the binder.
So
That's
Sky,
smart.
in this moment,
That way they won't know that we're onto them.
There you go.
I'm gonna plug the downside of your gimmick here. You notice that
Oh no.
oh yes, the state of affairs in the copy room
It's messy.
is unconscionably messy. So any normal moral person, even one who works in the accounting office of Vision Animations, would not let this stand. There are so many scraps of paper that it says like page 1 of 7 on top of one of these piles, and then you flip to the next page, and it's the front page of like another stack that says page 1 of 22, and you're like, they're all out of order and not in the right piles.
Okay, so I'm gonna... I look at this copy room, and I, like, I'm... And I very dramatically turn to Kip. This is gonna take a minute. And I'm gonna close the door to the copy room behind me. And, or before I do that, I, like, roll up my sleeves dramatically, and then close the door. And then, from the outside, Kip just sees, like... You know, the whole gimmick when the door is, like, shaking and you can see, like, papers flying out from underneath and there's, like, random crashes and hammering and things happening. And then when the door opens again later, it's all, like, perfectly neat and organized in stacks and, like, has new shelving labels and there's random plastic buckets for organizing that weren't there before that I pulled out of nowhere. Like, it's... And it took a while.
Yeah, Kip,
I think...
what do you get up to for an hour? Or do you interrupt?
I just as I noticed this door
Just
just
let
like
it happen.
whoa, 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 just like just like breaking space time. I walk around and like start looking around everyone's desk, picking at like everyone's snacks like that's left on the and go over to Pumpernickel's desk and just kind of sit down and like spin around, and I think I turn like hit the keyboard, and I think it lights up, because people just leave their computers on all the time. That's such a waste of power. They really should turn off their computers on the
I can't
weekend.
believe I'm missing this.
What do I see on the screen?
You see the the company slogan, which is like the programmed background of the OS here, and it doesn't prompt you to log in because she left her credentials on.
Ooh.
And you see up in the right hand corner, like there's all the applications she needs to open in while she's working, like the different spreadsheet softwares that they use, and like the different shared mailboxes she has to grab everything from. But up in the right corner, there's just a little folder that says trash.
Hmm. I wonder if that's where solitaire is. Hold on. That's what I'm looking for in games because I'm bored. I'm
It's
waiting for.
full of low pixel games.
Ooh. Ooh, that it's that skiing game. Hold on one second. Ah. And I don't know how to type because I'm not being asked to type.
Hmm.
If I'm asked to type, if it's a job, I know how to type like 300 words a minute, but I don't know how to type on my own. So I hit the combination of keys that opens up the trash. Oh,
Yeah,
ooh, that's not. Ooh, that's not. What's this? And what do I see that's in the trash?
like the actual logins trash.
Yeah, yeah. So like I hit just a combination of keys, I think, that just like accidentally
Opens up the
opens
garbage
up.
can. Yeah,
Yeah, the garbage can. Yeah.
there's a lot of PNGs in here of what look like selfies of Pumpernickel.
Oh, that was a really good one. Why did she trash that one? Oh,
There are
that's a really nice selfie. I really want that for my cell
like
phone. Hold on one second.
several
And I
hundred.
reach into the computer and grab that one and put it in.
Exactly.
Oh, that's really
Yeah,
nice.
click and drag, dude. Click and drag.
Click and drag.
Click and
Yeah,
drag.
that's a
Exactly.
really
That's
good
what
one.
tunes could do.
Like, oh, wait, yeah. Oh, no, that one I understand why. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Roasted.
yeah.
And
Ooh,
then
uh-huh.
as you go along, it's a long process with Sky in the copy room. You eventually find a selfie. Roll me a D6 really quick.
All right, that would be a 3.
You find a selfie of Pumpernickel and a cartoon wolf,
Hmm.
and they're just sort of like braced up against each other, smiling.
I didn't know she had a sweetie. Hmm. Do I rec Who is that? And I like enhance,
Yeah.
enhance,
In
enhance.
Biffdale, there actually is an enhance function.
Yeah.
Can you just
Beautiful.
roll me a sharp really quick?
All right. That would be well. Unfortunately, I am not Photoshop, and therefore I got a 2.
Awesome. While you're
Oh.
sticking your neck out and ogling with your hairy eyeball, someone else may take advantage or offense. We're going to cut away from the accounting office as we return to the Quarter Portion Club. Now back in real time, you all heard the Fed, who we have not learned the name of, this rough-looking Dale Cooper type. He stopped spinning, slammed his Scotch cup upside down on the bar, and said, "Ain't that interesting?"
Oh,
And he,
I take it you're a fan of the classics as well, there, friend.
huge fan of the classics, in fact.
Oh, well, well, it's a pleasure. I'm Cyril. You don't have to use the name from the show, but always good to meet an appreciator out here. It can be hard in these times.
Oh, I appreciate. Yeah, yeah. You did fantastic work on the sodas. Really good stuff.
Oh,
And you, Sally, they really shot you in the cradle, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a real modern day tragedy.
I agree. There's plenty of folks who love the classics. Yeah. And I understand that there's quite a few folks in Bivdale who love the classics. I heard about a club downtown where people play music that wasn't legally released or play reruns of shows that never got off the ground. And I start to think to myself, well, gosh, that doesn't sound legal to me. It sound legal to you, Felix? It's Felix, right? And thank you for that, Mr. Cyril. He's been pretty tight-lipped. But here, all it took was a celebrity to open him right up.
I
And
think
Felix just goes, oh, white as a sheet, kind of cracks the glass in his hand. He's wiping it so hard, and he just puts it under the counter and straight up sweating.
oh boy.
Mhm.
Well, I feel like turnabout's fair play, dear. Who should I be making out should I be making out the headshot to? I don't think I got your name.
Oh, my name is Special Agent H.G. Sistoda. Oh, pleasure. And he sticks out his big meaty paw.
I think Cyril just looks at the hand for a second and then kind of with a flourish takes out an 8x10, like a, like glossy fat head and starts, writing on it. Sestoda. All right. Is this a name that Cyril might have heard, like kind of through the grapevine himself?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I think for this one, yeah, unfortunately, it's another sharp, I think.
Okay.
This
Uh,
is a dicey mood, however.
yeah. Yeah. Uh,
Feels like it.
it definitely,
Do you feel in
Yeah.
danger, the two of you?
yeah.
Haha, I'm in
Cyril,
danger.
Cyril absolutely just looks like he's, like signing autographs here. This is, I like to think that he's usually not this nice whenever someone asks to like get his autograph from from his work on the soporific sodas. He's usually much more put upon and kind of acidic towards people. I think this is the nicest he's ever been for this. Um, but let's see. That is a 4 and a 3, so that is 7 plus 1 sharp. That is 8.
Ask me one question. It doesn't necessarily have to be from the list, I will say.
Okay. What is Special Agent Sestoda known for? Around Bivdale, like, in
He
whisper networks and that
he
sort of
is
thing.
famous, at least to Toons, in a sort of like a get a load of this guy sort of way. The Special Agent H.G. Sistoda, his only case in his entire career with the FBI was busting a ring that illegally distributed reels from canceled cartoons.
Oh my God.
That
This
is
is
his only bust, and I think even with you got an 8, correct?
I got an 8, yeah.
Even with an 8, you know that it earned him a nickname, at least among Toons, where they call him Special Agent Tape. Because
Mm.
like there's a famous photo of him from like the Bivdale Inquirer where he's like standing in front, like when he was like 27,
Uh-huh.
standing in front of a big like box truck full of VHSs.
Uh-huh. And that was like his only case. So
To
like
your
since then,
knowledge, he has not done shit since
yeah.
then.
So he's kind of a wash up or washout, sorry. Okay. I think Cyril is just like going through. It's like, all right, to my favorite Fed, H.G. Sestoda. Let's see. Stay classy. And passes it over.
He looks at it. There's a real market for stuff like this.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that. They just send the check over to my cottage, and that's all I really need.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't. I completely buy that, but our friend Felix might. If the two of you will excuse me, I have some questions for Felix.
Well, if you could, dear, I actually don't come to this side of town too often. I know, bit of a surprise. I was actually wanting to, get my monthly dose of small talk in before I, like go off and, do my best Citizen Kane impression, for the rest of the year. Just let if you would permit me, to have a little bit of time with with an old, not quite friend.
So while
So
Cyril's fast talking Agent Sistoda, Sally, you clock that for the brief second that Felix is not the object of scrutiny, where like Cyril's working this guy up, you notice that the cigarette that Cyril had like absentmindedly dropped on the bar,
Mhm.
Felix looks at you very like, this is me looking at you. This is me turning the cigarette to the right, and this is me just walking over to the bar and knocking over another set of glasses. And you notice that there's a very large painting of Harry the Green Piglet on the right side, like on the wall here inside. There's stairs up, but there's this very big painting of Harry the Green Piglet. It's one of his most famous runs when he's in space and he's being chased by the Galactic Authority.
space cartoons were a really big thing in the 60s.
Yeah, so Harry the Green Piglet. There's this big commemorative, probably custom paint job, and he goes, he goes and breaks a bunch of glass.
Sally's gonna give Felix a nod, noted, because she doesn't want to tip off this very sketchy Fed. But she's gonna let Cyril continue to talk about though.
Yeah, I think yeah, the conversations turn towards Ernest Borgnine's infamous key party as
Yeah. So can I get a sly from the both of you, just out of
absolutely
nowhere,
sure.
just for no reason?
No, yeah, we're both being real sly, acting
Oh
real
my gosh,
natural.
I can't do that. Where's my
Let's see.
not falling off the table this time? Five.
That
Oh,
is an 8 plus 1. Oh, wait, sly? Okay, that's a
Mhm.
10 for me.
A 10 for you, and you got a 5, Sally?
Yeah. Oh, I had my thing open and then it disappeared. Open, please. Oh, that's a 3. Minus
Whew.
2.
Cool.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Hmm.
if it is at all possible for me to use wisecrack to give to give Sally a leg up here, I can also understand if there's just not enough time since we're both
I
having to
think
do
that you
this.
have Agent Sistoda's full attention.
Okay.
Unfortunate for yourself, but you definitely have his full attention if you want to use Wisecrack.
Okay. I think I will then. Um, so yeah, this is basically what I would like to try to do is to kind of buy Sally a little bit of time and maybe like give a coded sort of like signal to account for Sally maybe being a little obvious in the background to sort of like put her on the right track is what I'm hoping to get, but we'll see. It's based off of how I do. Okay, that's a 13.
Oof.
Oof.
Woof.
Oh, ooh, I'm getting goosebumps.
You can choose one of them options from Wisecrack.
Okay. So let's see. With Wisecrack, I would one have to make a clever remark, and after a fellow player fails to do something, tell them what they did wrong. If they do the task again, they automatically succeed.
So first, Sally, what were you doing to sort of throw suspicion off yourself for the moment that completely didn't work?
Sally does what she normally does, and she reaches for her bag and she's sort of idly rummaging through, but then as she does that, she kind of slips up and some stuff spills out that may or may not be incriminating.
Oh boy.
And then Cyril sees this and
Okay, and yeah, like, and I think at this point, Cyril was going, and it was the darndest thing, but Jaja, she always insisted on keeping everything in her bag, all of her pills, all of her lewds, everything. And, I mean, I know I'm talking to an FBI agent, so, you probably have some experience. Like if you ever just drop a bag, you just leave it there and you just assume that one of your friends is going to take care of it for you so that you can just get away from the scene. And that was her. It was her and Foghorn Leghorn. And if you would believe it, the entire cast from 1973's Yatterman, from Akatsuka Press, they were in California. Like 8 of them were kids. I don't know what Jaja was thinking trying to take them over to Ernie's. She knows what happens every Thursday night there, or at least until 76. But you didn't hear any of that from me. You can just put that in your memoirs if you want to.
And at first he was like pissed off that you were talking this much, but you have fully flabbergasted him. So Sally, if you wanna take this moment to step off or do something else.
Yeah,
And
Sally
and yeah,
says,
the advice basically was like just don't don't try to don't try to make more noise by picking things up. Just
mhm.
head out, do your thing, and trust that folks in the bar will take care of you. They know what to do.
I think she's gonna head off. You said there were stairs by the
There's stairs up next to this fabulous painting of Harry the Green Piglet.
she's going to make her way over to the stairs then.
Okay. As you look up the stairs, you see the edge of like a large heeled boot, and it completes at the edge of long denim pants. And as you climb up, you see the muscular midriff of a large hairy like not hirsute, but a large hairy like white human man. But this body is Toon. And as you go all the way up, you see the like just wearing no shirt, like a denim vest. You see an apple-headed cartoon biker, and
Oh, this must be the bad apple.
so on his vest, funnily enough, that's a laugh for you, my friend Cyril.
Oh my gosh.
You look at this massive cartoon biker, and
Anybody want it? I have to ask if anybody wants it.
Sure, I'll take it.
all
There you
right,
go.
that's one laugh back to you, Sally Sable. You're looking at this large human body cartoon apple head Toon biker, and on his vest is a patch that says "Rotten to the Core,"
Ooh,
and
beautiful.
it's an apple core with like a switchblade through it. And he makes eye contact with you and falls forward dead. We cut back to the accounting office of Vision Animations, and while you are playing the was it the snowboarding game? Yep,
The skiing game with
the skiing game.
with the abominable snowman. It's back. The old Microsoft. I'm old. Don't worry about it.
Mhm.
I'm sitting
The
there going, "Woo."
Yeah, you're
I,
playing that. Sky, you come out, you see Kip Hopperman expertly playing this very low polygon skiing game on this office computer that definitely shouldn't have the software on it. But that's not your problem. The moment you step out, the two of you are face to face with one of Ignatius Stone's gargoyle bodyguards. And this very big gargoyle just sort of like has to hunch to be in this building. The coil of his tail wraps around the computer and presses the power button.
Hey. Oh. Hi.
Mr. Stone would like a word.
I mean, there's so many of them. He could have them all.
And that's all for this episode of A Tune to Die For. I've been Michael. I've been your host. My pronouns are they and he, still at the end of the program. You can find me on Twitter at GoodSirBlood if you're so inclined, but I'd much prefer if you followed TTRPG on Twitter and got news of all the wonderful programs that they're producing. In no particular order, I've been joined by my friends Annie,
Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm Annie Oakley on everything. I do some cosplay stuff and some dance stuff and some streaming sometimes. Um, and some tabletop stuff. Yeah.
And Grishka, thank you.
Hi, I'm Grishka or Kiki, and I don't do a lot, but I am prepping to do something. Starting on the 22nd, I'm going to be going on what I am kind of jokingly calling Butlerian Jihad. The whole AI art deal has kind of gotten to me, and I've spent my entire life happily saying I'm not an artist. So I have decided to change that. I'm going to be making a concerted effort to learn how to draw seriously, and I'm going to be recording it both through live streaming and through assorted social media. And if anyone would like to watch my progress or join up with me, I'll be documenting that on my Twitter, which is Scotch Game Comms. So
Awesome. And of course, Morshadi, thank you very much for playing along.
I am more shoddy. I'm on Twitter at more_shoddy, as long as more Twitter it works. I run and play games on TTRPG and a couple other channels here. I don't do much other than that, but I keep an eye on my Twitter because a project will be coming up here in March between myself and someone else. So I might actually do things. But otherwise, this has been so much fun. Back to
Fabulous.
you.
And thank you very much to our tech expert and the resident TTRPG host. Thank you so much, Kels.
Hello. I think expert might be a stretch, but I feel good about this being my second time running tech. I am Kelsey, or Kels. My pronouns are she, they. I am the communications director for TTRPG. Personally, on my social media, you can find me on Twitter as @crochet_BBY. I do lots of fiber art stuff. I formerly complained a lot about grad school, but I'm done with that now. So it's mostly fiber arts. Actually, currently, it is my birthday month. I turn 25 in about a week. And for my birthday month, I did this last year too. I have a bunch of knitted hats that I have made, and I am selling them on my Ko-Fi. And for every one that I sell, I will also be donating one to an organization called Warm Up America. So if you want to look into that and get yourself a hat and also donate one, check out the link in my Twitter bio. I'm also on TikTok for a lot of just random shit. A lot of Percy Jackson shit, too, if you're interested in that. And channel plugs. We have games this upcoming Friday and Saturday. We have the second episode of our Morkborg game, Belly of the Cat God. And we have the first episode of our Lancer game, which I believe is called Solstice. Something very similar to Solstice. It is, and that'll be on Saturday, and then next week again on Sunday we have this game. So come back for that. And I don't believe there's anything else. So until next time, that's all, folks.
Murder.
Murder.